All right, my next guest is Evan Elder, who will be fighting on December the 10th at FAC 11 when he meets Marcus Andrusia. Evan, how are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, man. And this is a little bit different. This opponent is a little bit different than what it was supposed to be. You're supposed to be fighting in the main event and for a title. When did you get the news that that fight was off and they were able to save your fight here and with this new opponent?
Mm, I want to say maybe like a week ago. We were trying to settle on, like get a new opponent, everything else. But yeah, so the news was pretty recent, and hopefully it was enough time for Marcus to, be prepared. And I'm sure he's like most fighters training pretty consistently, and might have already been in some sort of camp or something similar, So hopefully he's ready. Because truthfully, I know I sure am.
I always find it interesting when I talk to a fighter in your position where, look, you got a stellar record, you're undefeated, and you were supposed to be fighting for this title. Now, your opponent, your previous opponent, Juan Gonzalez, he had a record that was somewhat similar to you. And now your new opponent, Marcus, his record is a little bit more lopsided. So I have to imagine that you're going to be a massive, massive favorite going into this fight. Does that put any more pressure on you? Does it make you question whether or not you want to take a fight where if you don't win it and win it impressively, it might maybe affect you in the higher ups eyes? Like, does that ever cross your mind?
100%. Everything you just said. That's why I was even debating on whether or not to take the fight because I was like, truthfully, I was really looking forward to fighting Juan Gonzalez, because he was tough opponent. He got a good record, 7-2, tough guy. It was going to be a good fight. It had the potential to be incredibly grueling because he's really tough, and it was going to be a 5 round fight. So I could mess around and find myself in deep water if I went in there, tried finishing him, and I couldn't put him away or something. So I thought it was going to be a great experience. So yeah, with somebody exactly like you said, there is a little bit more of a risk. Um, I truthfully, and I don't want to sound bad, but I think it's an easier fight. But exactly like you said, man, it's a fight, dude. It's wild stuff happens, man. And I'm not too arrogant to believe at all that I'm invincible. There's always a certain chance that you can get caught with something, and to lose to somebody. Losing to somebody with a really good record looks a lot better on paper than losing to somebody with not so great of a record. Um, so it's definitely always something that crosses my mind, but truthfully now I'm just like I'm just excited to fight. I don't care who it is. And I'm getting that. I'm gonna get out of here with that losing stuff. That's not even really an option at this point. So, with that being said, like I just previously mentioned, I try to stay plenty humble enough to know that anything can happen, but also beyond confident in my preparation. So I do feel like it doesn't matter who I get put in there with. I'm ready.
I got to imagine too, after all of the hard work that you put in during a training camp for the promotion to find you a replacement opponent and save the fight. That's got to be almost a little bit of a relief too, just because at this point, after all the hours of being on the mats with your teammates, you just want to get in there and notch another victory and get that record, one better than the previous one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's like I'm sure almost any fighter. You put in so much hard work, and you're so disciplined on your diet for so long. You show up to practice on days that you're freaking exhausted and you don't even want to go. Um, had my light flicker for some reason. I don't know what happened there, but but yeah, I mean, there's just so much that goes into it, and it's grueling, and I love it. I think it's that's what it's part of what makes it all worth it is how much you have to sacrifice. But when something like that falls through, and potentially the fight is off, it really does suck. So for them to come through and make sure this thing is on, and what actually disappointed me the most was I was super worried about this is several hours away from where I'm from my hometown. It's about 4 or 5 hours, so it's close enough for people to go, but far enough to where I mean it's a trip. The people I have a lot of friends and family that have they had to get hotel rooms. Almost all of them, they bought tickets, hotel rooms. They requested off work. they really are making a trip out of it. And I was really gonna hate if that fell through, and everybody made all these plans to go out there to support me, and I couldn't come through with it. So more than anything, that's probably obviously along with the fight itself, like you said, improving my record. So yeah, the whole thing, everything about it, it sucks when it falls through, but as of now, everything's good, everything's on, and we're gonna get it popping.
It's fantastic that the promotion was able to save the fight and get you a new opponent. Now it is fight week, so you are right in the middle of your weight cut, getting down to 155. What is that like for you typically? What do you walk around at when you get like your heaviest?
Heaviest, I can get a little out of shape, and I'd say the heaviest I've been recently. I went to go corner one of my buddies, my good friend Anthony Canzano, uh, another up and coming superstar. He's 6-1 right now. It's freaking beast. I love that dude. Um, anyways, I went on a trip to go corner him, and another one of our buddies, another one of our teammates, went with us. It was us two cornering him, and we both decided to just be like, screw it, we're just gonna freaking enjoy ourselves. And I came back from that trip at about 189. And I was like, whoo, I got some work to do. So normally I like to walk around 180. I feel pretty comfortable, pretty in shape at 180, maybe a little bit lighter. I think 76 is really my sweet spot when I'm in good shape. Diet's pretty good, on point, but I'm not, I'm still eating plenty of carbs. 76 is money for me. 80 is fine. Anything above 80, I'm a little bit out of shape usually. So, but yeah, 55, it's a tough cut. It sucks, but unfortunately, honestly, man, the more and more I do it too, not that I'm like very experienced or nothing, I'm just getting started. I haven't even scratched the surface, and what my career is gonna unfold to be, hopefully. So, um, but every single time I cut weight, man, it's just like it's really aggravating. Just especially the more I learn about nutrition and how to properly, take care of our body. We work so hard. We do so much and put in so much effort with insanely intense exercise and super critical disciplined dieting to reach a peak. Like we're trying to reach our peak performance, put ourselves in the optimal state to perform at our best. And then I feel like so much of that just gets stolen away from the harsh weight cut the last week or so. About a week and a half out, you really have to cut corners and cut everything, man. It's like, um, which, there's a whole science to it, but I do feel like it definitely takes away from performances, and it definitely, to me, takes away from the fun of it, because I love training, I love fighting, but it's really hard doing it with no energy.
Yeah.
So, it's part of the game. It is what it is, and there's no sense in complaining when there's a job to be done. So I try to just suck it up and do it to the best of my ability. But I would love. I think it would be interesting to see something like a hydration test like ONE FC has. I think that would be cool. And from my understanding, what I know of it, it seems like that might be the way to go. But we'll see. It is what it is, and this is the life I chose, and I love it. And I'm willing to do what it takes to make this stuff happen. So if I gotta get down to 155, it's what I gotta do.
Do you envision yourself maybe, as you get a little bit older, moving up to welterweight? And a second part to that question, I got to imagine for you the goal is the UFC. It seems like any fighter that I speak to that's in your position, they want to be on Contender Series or in the Tough House or just sign straight into the UFC, which ultimately would be the perfect scenario. But if you got a late notice fight and they wanted you to come in and fight someone at 170 for that opportunity at Contender Series, would you do it, or would it have to
For
be
sure.
wait?
Yeah, no, I would be. I would on short notice. I would rather fight at 70 than 55. And I train with a lot of 170-pound fighters. Welterweights, and they're definitely. I mean, we have weight classes for a reason. There's a significant size discrepancy there, especially when you get past 155. Because like the beginning weight classes, flyweight through lightweight, 125, 135, 145, 155 is a consistent 10-pound weight difference, and then once you get past lightweight, you start jumping by, more than 10 pounds, which is a lot. There's a big difference in a flyweight and a bantamweight, or a featherweight and a lightweight, just 10 pounds. It's a big difference. And to go from lightweight to welterweight, 15 pounds, and then 15 pounds from then on, if not more, it's a big jump. But short notice, I think 70 would be fine. Like I said, I would still have to cut to get to 70. I walk around, 80 or more. So I would for sure be down with it. And I think, like I was saying, I think my performance would not be. I don't think I'd have to diminish myself at all to reach 170. So I think I'd be able to perform optimally. With that being said, like we were saying, definitely would be a size discrepancy, but I would be. I think that I don't see myself really moving to 170 just because I feel like I don't have the height for it. And also good friend, training partner of mine, Michael Chandler. If that man can make 155 still, I think I can too. So I see myself. I see myself staying at 55 for probably almost my whole career. Like you said though, I wouldn't be opposed at all to short notice, higher up weight classes. And like I said earlier too, I don't even like the weight cuts. I think the weight cuts are kind of dumb. But with that being said, to be the best, fighting at the highest level, every advantage matters. And when it comes to, I like to think of it like if your skill levels are very evenly matched, which is a high probability at the highest level, everybody's going to be incredibly talented, incredibly skilled, super good shape, and super tough, durable. Like they're gonna have everything. That little size advantage might, be the 1% that puts you over the top to, secure a victory or something. So, to be the best in the world, if I gotta be 155, that's what I'm gonna do. So, like you're saying, I wouldn't be opposed to short notice 70, but I probably don't really see myself consistently fighting at 70. Maybe if there's ever a 60 or 65, that would probably even be better. But as of now, I see myself staying at lightweight.
Okay, very, very well said, and I don't disagree with anything you're saying there, my man. Now, you did mention Michael Chandler, so I was going to follow up there and ask you about him. Obviously, that fight that he had with Gaethje was an absolute war, one of the best fights of the year, without a doubt. Where is his head at after that fight? And it seems just from the outside looking in, like he's angling for a fight with McGregor here soon. Am I on point with that?
That's the way it seems. Yeah, I mean, dude, that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean that Gaethje, Chandler and Gaethje fight was freaking bonkers. I mean, it was just insane. It's crazy. Obviously, Mike's tough as it is, and Gaethje, obviously, both of them. That's why going into that fight, there was so much hype around it because it was like very similar styles and very exciting styles. So to see them clash, like, and it was better than expected. I thought no way in the world would that fight go the distance. I was like, somebody's getting put down. And to have that go the distance was absolutely incredible. Those two fought their freaking hearts out, and true gladiators, man. I love the way that Gaethje said it afterwards. They really should have been in a different time, in a different lifetime. They should have been fighting in a freaking coliseum in front of just thousands. It just, man, that crazy. Hats off to those guys. But from the way it seems, it definitely looks like they're targeting Chandler and McGregor, which makes sense. I think they're both coming off, two losses. It's an amazing matchup. Two of the biggest names in the lightweight division still, and two of the best fighters. Yeah, dude, I hope that fight happens. That'll be sick.
Yeah, me too. Have you seen McGregor lately? He looks like he's 220. He's all jacked.
No.
I couldn't believe the videos I've been seeing and the pictures of how giant he is. But anyways,
Yeah.
I feel like that matchup would make sense, and really, I mean, talk about a fan-friendly fight. The fans would be all over that one. Now, Sanford MMA, that's your gym that you train out of, one of the best gyms on planet Earth. As far as this camp goes, like anyone specifically that you've been working with more than the others, or do you have pretty much like a handful of training partners that you primarily get your work in with?
Dude, that's what is incredibly unique about here at Sanford MMA, I believe, is just the crazy amount of bodies, high level, um, talented, driven, hard working fighters. So I mean, there's 50 or 60 of us on the mat at one time, and so I mean, you have a plethora of training partners. So I wouldn't say I really have. I have my select few that I probably pair up with more often than not, but nobody in specific I was working for this camp. That's the beautiful thing is like you never go into the gym like wondering, man, I hope I got a good training partner today. It's like, dude, that's all that's there. So I'm not too worried about who I work with whenever I'm there, just because you're gonna get good work with any single person that you go with. So I think that's one of on top of the phenomenal coaching. I think that's one of the most unique aspects of our gym is just how deep our roster is. So yeah, nobody in specific. Like I said, every single one of my training partners are freaking um, super high level, and it's I love just the energy in the room, man. It's every single person there is on the same page, working towards the same goal, and helping each other work towards the same goal. It's something special. I really love it.
Yeah, and again, your next fight here, December 10th, FAC 11. It's in Independence, Missouri. Who will be from Sanford in your corner come fight night? Who will be your corners?
So it was actually supposed to be my buddy Anthony that I had previously mentioned early on. There was a little bit of a problem on my side. I messed up with flights and stuff, so I'm actually having just two of my. I have a good buddy of mine from back home, Grant Dawson, 55er in the UFC, soon to be top 15. Dude's a freaking absolute savage. I love that dude. And then my old striking coach, Eric Steenberg, from where I trained at back home. He's been in my corner for dang near every one of my fights that I could recall recently. So having those two guys come out, obviously I would love to have somebody else if I could, but we only get two corners, and the paying for last minute flights coming up and stuff. I got two great corners as it is, and I'm just gonna ride with those guys, and I know they'll take care of me. So definitely plan on having somebody with me for. I'm planning on hopefully rescheduling that um, Juan Gonzalez fight, and later this coming up year, hopefully. This will be fight number 3 in 5 months, I think. So to be completely honest, I'm a little tired of cutting weight so soon. I've literally had to go straight from one to the other, which is no problem. I like to live as close to a fight camp as possible anyway. So that's really the only big difference is the last 2 weeks of cutting weight, but they're pretty tough. So I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break after this and enjoy the holidays with my family, and hopefully be targeting something like March or something, somewhere around March next year, instead of anything sooner, January or February. So hopefully set up that fight, and definitely plan on having some of my teammates or coaches with me then. So we also have there's the other thing is we have so many guys, like I was saying, that are constantly fighting. We have a lot of guys traveling with each other, going everywhere. Coaches are always here and there, making sure all of our fighters are taken care of. So sometimes the cornering situation gets a little funny, but the preparation to me is the biggest part. So that's what really matters. I got two people I can really rely on in my corner right now, so I'm ready to go.
Very good. And Marcus Andrusia, he's 9-16. That's your opponent here. Do you watch tape? What do you feel like of him as an opponent? Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different than Gonzalez, but like, what are you expecting come fight night?
From what I could see, I think he's honestly, he has nights where he's pretty on. I've seen him. He has a couple, like he has a head kick knockout. He's slightly dangerous. He definitely got power. He's got finishes. Uh, it's very inconsistent to me. Some nights he shows up and he doesn't show up. So I think that what I'm expecting is him to come across the cage and try to be the aggressor quick and put the pressure on me and try to just catch me as quick as possible because I think that's his only chance is just to catch me with something. I think I'm a little more skilled, sharper in all my techniques in every area. So I think he's going to be coming across the cage looking to get something wild right off the bat. So I'm going to try to control the cage and not allow him to be the aggressor. I'm going to put him on his heels, and I think it's a lot harder to catch somebody with something wild when you're going back, you know. So try to not let him get any momentum built to roll into something wild, like I was saying. So I think he's going to come out and have a good couple minutes. I think everybody's dangerous the first couple minutes of a fight, and then the longer the fight goes, the more it's going to play into my favor. So I definitely see me finishing the fight. I don't care whether it's first round, second round, third round. But I don't really see it going the distance. Yeah, I think I just got to control it early and not let him catch me with something wild right off the bat. And that's about it.
So if you get this win here, which I would imagine most people feel like it's an inevitable victory for this fight. If you fight Juan in March timeframe for the belt, which is what you said a little bit earlier, you get a win there. Do you feel like you're going to be in the UFC by the end of 2022? Where's your head at as far as taking that next step?
I really do hope so. I believe so. At least getting closer. By that point, as long as everything goes well with the two fights we just talked about, I will be 8-0 and have a title for a Fight Pass organization, which probably doesn't mean too much, but should definitely be knocking on the door of the UFC, hopefully. And then I know Contender Series will be rolling around right around later that year. So if not, I'll try to hop on there. I think 8-0 is perfect record to get on there and show what I'm really capable of.
Awesome, man. That sounds like a plan. Well, I'll be watching from home on UFC Fight Pass on December the 10th. Evan Elder, Marcus Andrusia, FAC 11. It all goes down in Independence, Missouri. Pleasure speaking with you for the first time, my man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. If you have any sponsors, anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Oh, dude. First off, it's been a pleasure speaking to you too, man. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate your time. And unless we got another 30 minutes of this talk, I can't really list everybody I need to thank, but I'll definitely give a couple shout outs real quick. First and foremost, all glory goes to God. Without him, none of this would be possible. So, secondly, I'd like to thank Sanford MMA, my team, my coaches. All my coaches, Henry Hoof, Greg Jones, Kami Barzini, Jason Strout, Nick Lintz, all my amazing teammates. Thirdly, just my sponsors, like we were saying, I'm actually I got quite a few. I'm not even going to try to list off real quick. I got my fight banner I'm about to post up and stuff, so you guys will see them. Shout out to all of them for helping me be able to pursue this full time and really help me do what I do. And lastly, and absolutely not least, is just all my friends, family, supporters, every single person in my life. I say this all the time. Everybody probably gets tired of me saying it, but I've been truly blessed with a lot of things in this lifetime. I live a unbelievably blessed life. And but by far my very greatest blessing is the people that are in my life, man. And so I really couldn't be more thankful to every single person that I have in my life. Friends, family, supporters, loved ones, teammates. Even just acquaintances. I just have so many amazingly great people in my life that I couldn't even begin to name off a list. But I love you all, and I can't wait to see you.